All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh Juice, an indie game podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tommy Fresh, and joined as always, it is
Matty Juice. I thought you forgot your name for a second there. I was like, oh no. I mean, this is going to be an interesting episode. What's up, everybody? How are you? Episode 111, because we're the number one
111.
podcast in the nation.
Ooh.
Hot off the presses.
111, and we're going to be talking about a sequel today, of course, instead of so Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault. But we got a great episode for you all this week. We are the number one podcast. I do like that. You know what? Here's a little inside baseball for everybody. In the group chat, the friends group chat that we have, somebody was like, "What does everybody listen to while they're working?" And you threw out, "Oh, there's a great podcast about indie games on that, like, you know, is pretty good." And I think only one person responded to that. Yeah. I think I was like, "Yeah, well, that one is pretty good," but we'll get them all eventually.
Yep. We
How
wear
you
them
doing?
down
What's up?
over time. I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good overall. So just been doing dad stuff, obviously. I tried to install a new sink in our kitchen and I couldn't like shut off the water valve. It's like stuck. So that was disappointing because I was planning to do that when my wife was away over the weekend a little bit with the baby. I had a little time to myself, which was nice. So I tried to do that, didn't really work out. So I'm gonna have to hire somebody, I think, to get it done. There's also like I don't know, it's like house shit. There's like a garbage disposal there, and I'm like, do I turn off the power for it while I'm doing this? I have no idea. So I was working on that sort of stuff. And then we also let's see, last week we had to bring our daughter to like get she's got to get like a new medicine thing, and we have to give it to her 3 times a day, and it has to be 8 hours in between. So that basically means we have to wake her up at night after she's already gone to bed and give her medicine and then put her back to sleep. So that's been a learning curve, just because she is like, you know, knock on wood, she's been a great sleeper. Like for weeks now, she's been sleeping like 10 hours a night, like no problem. With the occasional night, you know, where there's like, you know, maybe it's like 7 or 8 hours. But now I have to put her to bed, and a few hours later, I got to go wake her up and give her this medicine and then put her back to bed after a little bit because she's got to eat and all that stuff. So that's just been like, you know, I'm like, I can't really like plan anything at night, during the week at least, while I'm doing that sort of stuff. But we did actually, this is big news because I mean, any other parents out there, they would know, but like she is no longer in our room. So we made a stupid like decision early on, because they always say, right, like you got to have the baby in the room for like, I don't know, the first few months, and like you sleep in there, and it's like just so you can like attend to the baby or whatever if there's a problem. But we, you know, it's 2025. We have a camera on her, okay? Like, so what happened was she took our room and we set up the camera, and then in the beginning, like one of us would kind of sleep in there, but then it just like they don't tell you, like babies make a lot of noise. Like they're just like in the middle of the night, just be like, you know, like just like screaming, and they're asleep, and like it wakes you up, and you're like, what the hell is going on? So then my wife and I decided to go sleep in the guest room next to our room. And so we essentially gave up our room to this little tiny, you know, 12-pound baby. And we're sleeping on like a small bed. And then finally, you know, I was like, why don't we just move her in? She's got a nursery. Let's just put her in there. And we had to get like blackout curtains because it gets kind of bright in there. Now it's like, you know, it's like night in there, which is awesome. But yeah, now I think like 2 days ago, moved her in there. She's been sleeping fine in there, and which is usually where we feed her, so she's familiar with the room. But now we're back in our own bed, and I gotta tell you, Tom, there's nothing better than sleep. I mean, everybody knows sleeping in your own bed is like special, but like I am so happy to be back in my own bed, because that other bed, didn't have enough space. I like spreading out a little bit, and yeah, we're back in it. So she's now in her room, and that'll be her room, going forward. But it was just a big win, and I'm sleeping better. It's just nice. So I just want to share with the listeners, in case you were wondering, I'm back in my own bed, and it feels good. So that's what's been going
Nice.
on the past few days for me, is just kind of dad stuff and getting back in my own room and my own groove again with that sort of stuff. So that's been good. Yeah. But what have you been up to?
Busy, and it's going to be an even busier week coming up for me with work and stuff like that. But just still doing house stuff, trying to figure things out, and trying to do the best we can with the situation, and just hammer away at projects little by little. We're making good progress though. But I on Friday I had the house to myself, so I said, well, you know what? Let me go out in town a little bit. All right, we have a little town here, and let me check out the digs. I've been to some places just for like working purposes, but like not normal, you know, whatever, like being
Yeah.
a civilian stuff. So I went to the local brewery, checked it out, gave them some beer, and did the little like maybe give me some free beer, and they did. Um, and it was fine.
Nice.
I think it's just okay, I would say, but people seem to really like it. But and it's a good hang. And it's like right down on Main Street, which is cool. And then I popped over to there's this dive bar, right? That I remember like before COVID going into this dive bar. It was like a legit dive, right?
Hmm.
And then COVID happened and they closed and they leased out the place for another company to make like a bar, right? That wanted to open up a bar. So they opened up like a trendy bar. They redid everything inside. And then one day, the original owner of the dive was just like, actually, I want the business back. So they kicked out the people that did all the work there and made it like this like kind of trendy place. And now it's the dive again, except you walk in, you're like, wow, this place is nice. But then you look around, it's like, but it is a dive,
Yeah.
right? The people in there, there were some real creatures out that night. I'll tell you that. So like, I loved it. First of all, sat down, got my Jameson and a Guinness. Let me just relax. There's some live music, and there was like such a wide variety of people in there. It was insane. I'm talking to this couple that like transports horses across the East Coast. That's
Okay.
cool. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. Then there's like, your typical, like, like a small town dive guy who's like wearing a shirt that says, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right or whatever.
Mm.
you know, you see a lot of those out there. And then I turn around, then there's like a full leather daddy playing pool, like in full leather. I was like,
Target
I don't,
acquired. Yeah.
this no, it was just like so wild. I was just like there like I don't think that the person I just saw walk by with that t-shirt would even be in like the same room as that guy.
Yeah.
So it was it was pretty cool, but
Yeah.
that was fun. And then we had a birthday party on Saturday, went to that, and it was interesting. One of the friends of that group showed up. I guess he had just came back from Poland, and he was like, "That's all they do there is shots of vodka." So he had a bottle of vodka, just started pouring shots, and I was like, "All right, I like shots." So one of the things, and Lady Fresh will say this, is like, don't try to go toe to toe with me because it ends up not going well. And I had to tuck that guy in onto the couch because he was in not a good way.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and then we had a cookie thing with the family. Got to see the goddaughter. She's cute as anything. Doesn't like being picked up at all. She just likes laying on the playmat.
Yeah, I saw the picture. of her just losing her mind. She does like being picked up, but when you like if you're interrupting her playtime, she's
Mm-hmm.
like gets upset about that. She's like, "What the hell?" But then and then she'll you can move her laying down from there to like laying down to like the changing station, and she'll freak out. It's like it
Yeah,
matter,
yeah.
all that sort of
She wants to
stuff.
do what
But
she was doing, which I get.
yeah,
She
yeah,
get.
yeah.
But we do got to talk about some video games, though.
Of
But
course.
before we do that, huge news, breaking news. It just came across my desk. We got a Discord. Check it out. The Fresh Juice Discord. It's in the show notes below. Take a look, folks. It is a great place to hang out, submit listener questions, and just chat with us.
Yeah,
But the Game Awards are coming this Friday.
they're coming. Yep.
They're coming. I won't be able to watch them, so I'll be working. But we're gonna throw some predictions out there. Also, let's talk about the statue thing first.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, what's the guy's
Jeff
Ke-
Keighley.
Keegley?
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all,
Keighley?
can I
Keighley?
just say I don't I don't know what the credentials are of this Jeff guy or anything, but I'm gonna say I don't like him. I've watched a bunch of interviews with him.
Yeah.
I just like what is he? I don't think he plays the games.
So he is like someone that, when from what I know, right? I don't know him personally, but when like E3 and all that stuff was like winding down, right?
Mm-hmm.
He took, he had the Game Awards and then he kind of made it like this bigger show. And like it kind of has gotten to the point where like I remember him before like the Game Awards were all kind of commercialized, I guess you could say. And
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a different he had a different vibe about him where
Mm.
he was like you could tell he played a lot of games, at least from
Gotcha.
my experience. I think now I feel like maybe his like time is like monopolized with like prepping for Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards. He's basically, it seems like he's busy all year long with that sort of stuff. So now, yeah, he's like, I don't hate the guy, but
I don't hate him either.
yeah, yeah. I
I
could, you
don't
could
buy it.
tell that, yeah, he's like been, you know, uh, commercialized, I guess, or whatever, and it's just, and yeah, there's like certain things he does that like irks me. Like he's always, I understand he's friends with Kojima, but it's like, you don't always
Mm-hmm.
need to make this massive deal. It's like, he's there every year. Like we know,
Yeah.
like he's like, and coming to the stage is a bit, someone you will never have expected. Hideo
It is
Kojima.
kind of like
Like,
it's
yeah,
kind of like can you believe Santa came this
yeah,
year?
yeah, yeah. That's what it's like. Yeah, exactly. So there's like stuff like that he does, but I think it's hard for me to like not like, because I think what he does for gaming is good
Mm-hmm.
overall. I think there's a net positive there, but yeah, over each year. It seems like it gets a little bit more like Oscar-y than like I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
the Game Awards, man. Like it's like I don't know. It gets a little wild. So what's going on with him now though? What do we got here?
Yeah, so he tweeted out this picture of like a weird statue out in the middle of the desert or whatever. I don't know if he tweeted or posted it somewhere. I've seen it just basically from TikTok. But and then there is some more pictures basically teasing something is going to get announced at the Game Awards, which yeah, I think it was probably fair a fair assumption to think that something would get announced at the Game Awards, but they're making this out to be like a bigger
Yeah.
announcement than like your typical announcements. So there's a lot of I guess like ideas about what this is going to be. People have said, "Oh, maybe this is Elder Scrolls, maybe this is maybe this is DLC for something, probably not that." Some people even said, "Oh, it's going to be Diablo 4 related,"
Yeah.
but I I don't know what it is, and I wanted to get your thoughts because I mean, it does look cool. I enjoy whatever that is, right? It looks very like cosmic, almost like cosmic horror esque, which
Yeah.
I kind of like. And I'm personally, I hope it's something that I'm going to like to want to play, right? I'm not big in the Souls likes. I know that some people are maybe even like Elden Ring sequel or something like that, but what are your thoughts? I think you told me something that you think it is before.
Yeah, I think and I hope, because honestly there's not enough detail to really know what this is, but I hope it's Bloodborne 2 just because I've been wanting that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um and they've even come out and said, like Jason Schreier here in this article from Kotaku was mentioning that it's not Diablo 4, it's not Elder Scrolls, and he said, I don't currently plan on reporting what it is, but it's a good one. So that could mean anything, obviously, but
Yeah.
a lot of people are calling it like the portal to hell. So that also makes me think of maybe it's Doom related somehow.
Yeah.
Um, or I don't think it would be like Hellblade or something like that. Like it could be a lot of things just based on how it looks like. It does look really cool. There's also another image that I saw um revealed. Let me see if I can just find it real quick. Here's the other one uh that was revealed right here from Jeff Keighley on Twitter, where it's just this like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It almost looks like an entrance somewhere, and then it's kind of got like skulls and these like an alligator and a wolf, and I'm not really sure kind of what this is. But the reason I think it might be Bloodborne related is just from overall vibes. Honestly, I have no evidence that this would be Bloodborne related, but it is interesting. Yeah, it's in the desert. It's like an actual thing too, like a
Yeah.
physical thing. This isn't just like, something on the stage or whatever. Like it's actually out in the desert. It's not God of War either. People were saying it was that. Apparently, there is a God of War Metroidvania though that is expected to be announced. I don't know about in
Ooh.
at the Game Awards, but apparently that's been a rumored project for a while, which I did not know about until today. So I don't know. I guess I'm hoping it's Bloodborne, but it's so abstract that it could just be a ton of different things. I know I mentioned this a little bit before the show because we were talking a little bit about it, but I don't. I'm just hoping it's not a new IP. I think
Mm-hmm.
doing all this build up, all this hype for like a new IP is like people are gonna be like, okay, well, like I don't know if that's good. Like I don't know if it's a good IP. Like I have no idea. Like why? I don't. I feel like it's got to be a sequel to something, right? That or another entry in a series that people have been looking forward to. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's cool. I like when they do this sort of stuff where it's like it's like I feel like we're in the age now where like everything leaks. So I love when there's
Mm-hmm.
something that's like the whole internet is like, what is it? Like, what could it be? And hopefully nothing gets leaked before the show. Probably will happen, but um I think it'll be cool. I don't know. I'm interested to see what this is. I think it could be up my alley, just based on the vibes alone. But yeah, I'm just hoping it's not I don't know, Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC. Oh, great. I haven't played Dragon's Dogma at all. So we'll see.
It can't be DLC. I like
Yeah,
even as somebody who doesn't play any of this, like I would be pissed. I'd be like, "Well, what you were doing that?
yeah,
All that for a DLC?"
yeah.
Um, I'm seeing. Well, some people think it's Saros related, right? But that already has like
It was
a
already
release
announced.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already announced. Darksiders, which would be kind of interesting, a sequel
Yeah.
to that. One thing that I keep going back to is what if it's like, well, why would the Game Awards make a big deal of it? Perhaps it's a sequel to something that won Game of the Year, right?
Mm.
So I would think a new Witcher.
Ooh. Could be
I
a new
would think
Witcher.
a new Dragon Age,
Yeah.
something like that. So that would be like with like if somebody just told me there's a statue that nobody knows anything about, I would say, oh, it probably has something to do with something that's done well before.
Yeah.
Um, to be honest, I think The Witcher could be the thing. I don't know if there's any rumors about a new Witcher, but
Yeah,
that would be
could be.
my initial thought here because right, the last Witcher game was Witcher 3, right?
I'm also yes, Witcher. Wait, uh, well they already announced Witcher 4.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I
Ah, yeah,
believe.
yeah.
Yeah, so um, there's no release date though, so maybe it's a. They said it was not going to be released in 2026, but maybe it's I don't know gameplay for that or something. But what I actually just realized is the second picture here. This is just a close up of this down here.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that
So
thing's huge.
yeah, so but or I mean, if this is like his height here, right? Like, is this
I
a
don't know.
really tiny door? Like, could that be a hint? Like, this kind of looks like a
The
door to me.
Hobbit. No,
The Hobbit, that's it, dude. Stuart Little, man.
Stuart Little.
Oh, that's gotta be it for
I always think,
sure.
you know that comedian Caleb Huron?
Yeah,
Always think of that clip of him. He's like, if my parents brought home Stuart Little, I would shoot him with a gun. This is the funniest clip ever. But yeah, it's probably Mario Odyssey 2. But
yeah.
let's be real.
I think that's a
Who did?
lock, actually. Yeah.
It's a lock. But all right, let's talk about some of our predictions here. Game of the year. Clair
Game.
Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's the year of the indie, right? We got 3 indie or indie adjacent games here in Hades 2, Hollow Knight, and Clair Obscur. I think it's kind of a lock for Clair Obscur. If I
I
had
would
to
say,
guess.
yeah, that's what I think is gonna win. That's what I hope does win. So that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Even as someone, I haven't played. I played the beginning of it actually, and that was it. I have to go back and play more, but it's also the only one on here we've talked about before that's not like another. It's a new IP, right?
Yeah.
Right out of the gate. So I think that would be really cool if it won. Um, not that like sequels shouldn't be nominated for Game of the Year or anything. It's just it stands out because of that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's my lock. Claire Obscure Game of the Year. You too?
Yeah, if I had to guess, right? Like it would be I think it could be maybe the biggest snub of all time if it doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Like I think all roads lead to this game, but that would be my guess. What else do we want to talk about? Best independent game?
Yeah, we'll do best, of course, best indie, best debut indie. So best indie, Absalom, Ball X Pit,
Uh,
Blueprints, Claire Obscure, Hades 2, Silk Song.
I mean, this is why I mean like Claire Obscure probably is going to win this, right? Like if it wins game of the year, why wouldn't it win best independent game?
Yeah.
Although unless they judge best independent game on different metrics, right? Like I'm not really sure. But all of these games that I played, I really enjoyed. I still haven't given Blueprints or Claire Obscure a shot, but honestly, I'm like super happy Absalom's on here.
Yeah.
I think that is a game that I was wondering if it would get any kind of nod. I I love that game. That game is so much fun. So that would be my pick. I think I love Hollow Knight Silk Song. Hades 2 is great too, but I think in terms of like an experience that was like really took me by surprise was Absalom.
Yeah, that would definitely be. I think Absalom here is like the underdog. I'd say that and Ball X Pit probably. But uh, I don't know. I think. I mean, let's see. I think Claire Obscure is gonna win. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it'd be really cool if Absalom, Ball X Pit, or Blueprints won because
Yeah.
Blueprints came out around the same time as Claire Obscure, and I remember
Yep.
people hyping it up. I played a little bit of Blueprints too. It's really cool. But it's also one of those games where, like, if it's not creating enough of a ripple effect earlier in the year, people kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
So and obviously coming out around the time of Claire Obscure, it's kind of overshadowed a little bit. but people really like this game. So um, I wouldn't be surprised if this snuck out with a win. But I think Clair Obscur is gonna take it probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And if it
it's
if it
kind of a
does,
given.
yeah, I'm hoping for like if Clair Obscur is like, let's say it's won 3 awards in a row, I'm just hoping for the sweep at that point. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it. I mean, it's got a good shot. So even if you look at, um, excuse me, best debut indie game,
Yeah.
it's Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Despelote, and Dispatch. Notably, Megabonk removed themselves because it was a developer that said that they had made other games and then they did this under a different name. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool of them to do that. And honestly, probably good press for them as well. But yeah, I mean, this if this isn't Clair Obscur, I mean, I guess Blueprints, you know, to kind of throw them a bone, right?
Yeah.
That'll be my guess here.
And I do think that like Dispatch is also in the mix here. I haven't really seen a lot of Despelote, so I'm not going to speak to it a lot, but I've
Mm-hmm.
watched a good amount of Dispatch because it's had a lot of love and a lot of hype. But the thing is with that is like is it a game, right? Like it, or is it an experience of kind of watching a show and then being able to influence sort of what happens based on what I've seen of the game. I haven't played it yet. I did just call it a game, but um I think that's an interesting one. Like it's had so much love, Dispatch. Like I've seen a ton of it, especially recently. I don't know if they release like episodes every week, and maybe that's why I kind of keep seeing it pop up. But a lot of love there. I would not be surprised if Dispatch came out and won because I feel like it's kind of doing something a little different. Um, but Claire Obscure, sure. I'm gonna lock that in. That's 3 Claire Obscures I've locked in so far.
It's kind of interesting. This is probably the least interesting Game Awards year to like discuss,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like, well, I mean, it's just kind of this game like fired on all cylinders. People love it, and why not, right? It's a real triumph for the gaming industry. I mean,
Yeah.
like I think it could get upset in the Game of the Year race, right? Like it certainly is going to, do some damage in the indie sphere. I don't think Hollow Knight or Hades 2 is going to beat it in Game of the Year, but listen, I think the one the one like I guess like wild card could be Donkey Kong, right? Like I think that
That
is
the internet would break if they were
oh
like
yeah.
Game of the Year, Donkey Kong Bonanza. People would be like, "What the hell?" Like every everyone other than Nintendo fans would like lose their shit.
Yeah. But like it all goes down to like who votes, right?
Yeah,
And like game journalists really love Donkey Kong Bonanza. And right, it's flashy, it's a beloved character that, really breathe life into like what that character can do in a game. And yeah, I think that's the wild card. I do think so. I don't think Death Stranding 2 is going to get it. I don't
yeah,
think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is going to get it. But it's Claire Obscure's award to lose, I would say.
yeah. And I also like I feel like when I think of Game of the Year, right? I'm like, all right, out of all the games this year, this one like really stood out because it
Mm-hmm.
was something that like people weren't expecting. And I think Clair Obscur fits in that. I do think Donkey Kong fits in that as well
Mm-hmm.
because it's a new formula for Donkey Kong, right? And it's something different. Hades 2, kind of like, I mean, I know people love it. More Hades, better Hades. Silk Song, better Hollow Knight. Kingdom Come
Yeah.
Deliverance, better. Like it's just those are the 2 games that I see on here where I'm like, they're at least doing something different.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I mean, I would be floored if Donkey Kong beat Claire Obscur. just in voting, even if neither of them actually won, if they showed like the votes, if more people vote for Donkey Kong, I'd be like, that's crazy. Like, good for them, but that's crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Are there any other category? I mean, I just wanted to go over those three basically, but are there any other ones you wanted to take a look at to
Not
lock
really.
in?
I mean, were we nominated for best content creator or no? No, not
Yes,
this year.
and best esports athlete. That was us as well. Um, so we're
Oh
feel
yeah.
free to vote for us. I don't know any of these people. But also, did you see any of the streamer awards drama? Have you seen any of that?
No,
Which is a
no, I
dumb
didn't.
award show in the first place.
Yeah.
But like, there's a best VTuber or VTuber of the year. You know, like VTubing,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the burnt peanut one, the guy who's
Yeah.
like the peanut, and people in the VTubing community are like, this is ridiculous because he said he's made fun of VTubers and he said that he, he isn't a VTuber. So they were like, why was he even nominated? But he won. And I just think it's the funniest thing ever that like a peanut is like pissing people off. Like people are writing like huge Twitter threads about
Yeah.
why he shouldn't have won. And
Yeah.
all the other nominees are like the kawaii anime,
Uh-huh.
like,
Mm-hmm.
like style. And I just think it's so funny that like this dude who's just a peanut who wears different outfits, like doesn't disguise his voice, is the that just goes, he won like VTuber of the year. I think
Well,
I don't care
he'll
about that
probably win
award, but
content
that's
creator of
so
the year,
funny.
to be honest. I guess Kai Cenat would, if like it was a popularity contest, maybe Kai Cenat wins.
Yeah.
But
I'm voting for, I mean,
I
look at
mean,
that. Look at the
yeah. I mean, I like
I'm-
Moist Critical too, but
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's
Dude, Peanut's great too. I give him a lot of props, man. At first, I was like, "Why would I watch this guy?" Tuned in, and I've been there's a channel on Twitch that's just the Burnt Peanut 24/7. It's someone that just it's always live, and I just
yeah.
pull it up from time to time, man. And oh, he's a funny
Well,
guy.
I mean, streaming. This is a total side note, but streaming really shifts when somebody is truly entertaining, right? Because I think
Yep.
there's a lot of streamers that are popular because they're just good at the game that they do, or they're just good at just like talking to the chat or whatever while they play. But when you get like a the burnt peanut or queso or Northern Lion, these people,
Mm-hmm.
who's the vanilla, like all these people that like
Who's
really,
Vanilla?
I forget her full, it's, um, there's a few people that I always see on TikTok in like
Hmm.
just like clips. So it's always the burnt peanut, Northern
Yeah.
Lion, um, uh, who
Queso.
else I say? Queso. I
Yeah.
see that girl Katie, the younger girl that she
Yes.
does stuff with Sketch
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So and then this
Sketch
Vanillati,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sketch. So
Yeah.
like these people that like are truly entertaining, like it's true. That's like
Yeah.
it's almost not fair. Like, well, why would I ever try to stream at the same time as some of these people because they're so funny,
Yeah.
right? So
And it's also
yeah.
like for me, I'm just like, I want to see like on the big screen that a peanut won the
Yeah.
award, like I just oh man, it's just so funny to me. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. There's a creator that comes like this every now and then, right? Where they just like
Mm-hmm.
blow up. I even think, before all this stuff happened, and we're getting a little too into the weeds, but like Dr. Disrespect fit that bill for a while there, where he was like,
Oh yeah,
he
yeah.
was, he was doing stuff on stream that like no one was doing with like in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like production and like just like the character, he filled out the character well, and then obviously went off a
He was
cliff
doing
with
stuff
it.
off stream that
Yes,
nobody was
he
doing
was.
as well.
Yes, he was. Yeah, so that's
So,
not great. Definitely not a fan of his, but uh, people like that like really make a
yeah,
huge ripple effect. So yeah, my vote is for the burnt peanut here for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway,
but yeah, Should be an interesting game award. I guess it'll be kind of interesting. I mean, it's just like, oh, does Claire Obscura get the sweep?
Yeah.
Which I think has a good shot. But
I'm more interested in the announcements this year actually than any of
mhm.
the awards, to be honest, just because it was a good year for games, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the most interesting year for
I tell you what,
awards.
my game of the year
Tell me.
was we did not see it anywhere on here, and I'll be excited to announce it when we do our juicies at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I actually I came to the realization the other day. I, I I was like, you know what? There's a lot of great indie games this year.
And I think Oh
This
Dear takes it. Yeah.
oh dear, it's not a game that we reviewed.
Okay. All right.
It's a game that I truly think is next level. But
All right.
we'll talk about that. Now let's talk about some notable releases this week. First off, Sulfur, a game that we reviewed quite a while ago, got a forever update. What's the deal with this update? I saw it came across my Steam, but I didn't check out what it was.
Yeah, so this is apparently a pretty big update. It's been a minute since I've hopped into Sulfur, but there's kind of two main parts of this one. One is the end chapter. So essentially the end of the game, and then also an endless mode, which I think a lot of people, I think that's been the most highly requested thing that I've seen for Sulfur is just some sort of endless mode to see how far you can get. So it says, "This is the end and a new beginning. We look forward to continuing our work on Sulfur. So keep your feedback and ideas coming on their Discord." So yeah, they have kind of, I think that I don't think they're in 1.0 yet. No, this is point 1.4, but I would imagine they're getting close to 1.0
Mm-hmm.
if they're adding the final chapter in. They added some new guns, a bunch of bug fixes, things like that, some level updates. But yeah, I think the biggest update here, from what I can see, is the endless mode, where it says you take the loot you enter with and see how far you can push. Draft conditions, loot, strength, survivor style, no comfort, just you, your gear, and rising chaos. And then you can upgrade endless mode with perks and benefits. And then uh, you can also do the final chapter, which is the end of the road for this arc of the story, and a setup for what's to come next. So I imagine they'll be doing some more story stuff as well in the game. But yeah, just wanted to highlight this because it's actually a game that like I wasn't super high on. Look,
Mm-hmm. Same.
I thought it could be better, but I've seen a lot of people love this game. I feel like I need to hop back into it and give it another whirl, especially with the endless mode kind of like intrigues me. But yeah, just a little highlight there for Sulfur, which they're still pumping out updates.
Yeah, seems pretty cool. This is a game that I wish I could get more into. I just don't know if it's really my genre, but I really loved the the art style. He
Sorry if
uses
there
the
was a
toilet right
sound there
away.
for the listeners. I don't know if there was.
Yeah,
Apologies.
but it was, it was cool, and it's something that I I saw the potential in, right? But I just don't know if it'll ever be something that made sense for me. But glad to see people are really enjoying it, and that it's still getting updates and probably gearing up for a 1.0 release.
Yeah.
But very cool. Another game that came out this week, Skate Story.
Yeah, so this is one that I think I remember actually maybe even seeing at the Game Awards. Came out today, December 8th, the day we're recording. But uh, from what I've heard about this game, so for those that don't know, it is a skateboarding game, but with this really crazy art style, kind of like this, like, I don't know, cyberpunky, neon, abstract, like polygonal. I don't even know what to call it. It's like wild particle effects and crazy stuff going on in this. But it is a game where you're trying to destroy demons and save some other souls. So you're doing tricks and things of that nature. What I've heard about this game is so far, at least people also that played the demo, is that it's kind of one of those games that like looks really pretty, but maybe the gameplay is a little shallow.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta tell you, it is a lot of fun to look at. I have not played it. I didn't play the demo, but this game's always intrigued me. I feel like that's something. I'm not into like a lot of sports games or whatever, or like, like I'm not really into a lot of skateboarding games, but like there's something about skateboarding that like it's probably because I played Tony Hawk as a kid, right? Where I'm just like,
Hmm.
it piques my interest a little bit more than other genres and other types of games that I'm not that into. So yeah, Skate Story looks pretty cool. And we'll see if they can pull it off. It's got positive reviews on Steam right now. That's likely just due to the fact there's only 29 reviews. So the more reviews it gets, the higher that could go or the lower it could go. But
I swear, it says 45 reviews on my end.
really? Oh, I just refreshed. Yeah, 45.
Yeah.
Wow, I literally opened that like right before the show. So shout out
Yeah,
to
I
those
guess I mean
people.
people the reviews are coming in, so and
They're
maybe
coming
maybe
in.
it is something looking at. I'm gonna put it on the wish list. Keep an eye on it
Yeah.
because that $20 price tag is like, but if
Yeah.
that goes on sale, maybe it's something I would check out. Yeah, I'm the same with you. It's like there's something about skateboarding games that like makes you wanna at least give it a shot. I mean, I know we didn't love I know Kmore is always asking us to give it another shot, but
Yeah. Hellskate.
Hellscape, but
Yeah.
maybe Skate Story is the real sauce. I mean, it looks wild to
It
be
does.
honest, but very very cool. Now another game, Rhythm Doctor. What is this one all about?
So this one overwhelmingly positive on Steam. Came out 2 days ago. From what I know, it says save patients with your rhythm mastery. Rhythm Doctor is a rhythm game where you heal patients by defibrillating in time to their heartbeats, learn each patient's unique heartbeat, and defeat boss viruses trying to sabotage your rhythm, all set to heart pumping, soul soothing music. And then they claim in the trailer, which it is a funny trailer. I do recommend checking it out. Um, it's the easiest game you've ever played because it's only one button, apparently. But with the reviews, it was hard for me to ignore. It also apparently has shared split screen co op too, which I don't really know how that exactly works, but I've heard of Rhythm Doctor before. There must have been a demo that kind of popped off a bit ago, but it gives me like WarioWare kind of vibes.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously ties into like Guitar Hero kind of stuff, DDR sort of vibes as well. But yeah, it's got great reviews. Might be something I end up checking out. What's it going for right now? What's the price here? $15, 25% off currently. So maybe I might wait till this gets a little cheaper, but figured I'd chat it out since it's, you know, overwhelmingly positive. Hard to ignore
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just hit 1.0. I don't know how long the early access was, but yeah, it looks cool. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I like some rhythm based stuff from time to time. As like, if it's one button, it's probably kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
I kind of like the look of like you're almost like holding the thing like a whip or whatever, or like a jump rope in a way, and like it's attached to the heart, and like basically I don't know. I just like that kind of vibe
Yeah.
of whatever's going on with it, but it
Yeah.
must be doing something right. But
Yeah, good, maybe a
next,
good game for my daughter to play. It's only one button. I'll teach her how to do
yeah,
Rhythm Doctor, and there we go.
get her on it. Now the next game is a game that I played a lot of the demo. Is Death Howl. This is a Souls-like deck builder,
I'm
roguelike, of
in.
course. I mean, just art wise alone, amazing, right? The demo was good, and I was like, it was pretty limited though. I felt like so this looks fully fleshed out. So I'm very excited to see, you know, how this actually is. This is probably something I'm going to grab when it releases. Kind of price depending, of course, but
Yeah.
excited to see it come. And it's from published by 11-Bit Studios, which did the game that we are reviewing today. So yeah,
Yeah.
looks awesome. I
That
think this game just looks so cool.
Oh, it does. Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, just you get me to look at games because of how they look, and then I'm like, man, if this is on a deal when it comes out, I'm just gonna pick it up and I'll figure out time to play it. Whenever
Yeah.
that's gonna be. It looks awesome for sure. Um, yeah, I have to keep an eye on this one. When's it come out? The 9th? You said tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, so I have
Or
to see what
yesterday
that
if you're
price
listening to
is.
this.
Yes, yesterday.
But Steam Deck verified, and um, I don't know. Like, I will say the demo, the demo was hard. So I'm
Yeah.
interested to go into this. I mean, I think that's kind of where they're getting at here with the Souls. Like, it is going to be a really, really hard game, but it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And finally, another game that's coming out is a game that we played at PAX Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, which I just wanted to give a shout out to it because it was a little fun when we played it. I don't know if it's a game that I'm super into to like play more than just we did at PAX, but the people there at their booth, super nice.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a huge kind of like audience for this that might not be me, but worth shouting out anyway.
Yeah, I think this is from the creators of Ultimate Chicken Horse as well. So this is kind of this is a very similar game to it. So I imagine it's from those same creators. I can even look. Yeah, Ultimate Chicken
Yeah.
Horse is what they came out with back in 2016. So this is their uh, spiritual successor, I guess you could say, to it. Yeah, it was fun at PAX. It's also not my kind of game. I actually owned Ultimate Chicken Horse, and then I ended up refunding it just because I was like,
Mm.
I don't really see myself putting a lot of time into it. But yeah, this will definitely be a hit. Like with people that are into Ultimate Chicken Horse and into these kind of like, I wouldn't consider this like a friend slop kind of game, but these kind of silly, chaotic games.
Like a party game.
Yeah, these party games. So yeah, shout out to them for sure.
Shout out.
Yeah.
And then shout out to our review of the week, which is Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault, the much awaited sequel to Moonlighter. This is developed by Digital Sun, published by 11-Bit Studios. It is on Steam, and it is $30, $29.99. I'm not sure if it's on sale right now, but live the not on sale right
Not
now.
on
Live the
sale.
double life of a fearless adventurer and crafty merchant. Dive into vibrant dimensions brimming with shiny loot and pesky enemies. Grow your shop, tinker with weapons and gadgets, as well as make your mark among a ragtag community of castaways. So, one thing I wish I did before playing this was hop back into Moonlighter 1, which was a game I really enjoyed, but I don't think it really matters. I think I just would have liked a refresher on how that game worked, because there are differences here. Start with the gameplay here. Similar loop, but I think they actually simplified a lot of things from the first Moonlighter in terms of like the inventory management and the crafting. I think there was a little bit more crafting going on in the first Moonlighter, and I think that removing some of that crafting is actually a net positive for this game. Now, how does this game go? If you're not familiar with the first game, you hop in to kind of like this action roguelike adventure, going from room to room, beating X amount of enemies, and then getting a chest at the end to get some stuff that you're going to bring back and sell at your shop. Really cool concept. I mean, a really cool concept from the original one. This one is notably different because the first one it was closer to your almost Zelda like top down, more pixel art. This is like a huge jump from those graphics, and it's also this isometric, closer to a Hades like.
Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, like the combat is fun. It's tight. You can have a lot of different things going on there. It can be pretty difficult at times too, but I like that instead of like having to choose a gun like you did in the first one, you get your gun no matter what, and then you're just basically, in terms of a weapon, you're gonna choose your like whatever weapon you want to enter in with. You start with a broom, but then I think the next one I unlocked was like these kind of like punching, like katana things. But
Did you choose like the gauntlet thing, like the
yeah, the
like?
gauntlet things.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
chose
yeah,
those as well. Yeah,
yeah,
so
and they're a lot of fun.
yeah,
So that is all kind of like familiar territory. This is like where we see a lot of this kind of combat and stuff in games like Sworn and Hades and all these different games. It's like the real meat and potatoes of this game comes into the shop mechanic and the inventory mechanic. The thing that I found myself loving the most, excuse me, was your backpack, which is notably smaller than it was in the first Moonlighter, but it's like you have these different mechanics where like where you place these things will affect their um I guess desirability points. I forget what the points are called actually.
yeah.
Like
Or I don't know.
yeah, basically like how likely it will be for you to sell it at whatever price. But
Yeah,
so there becomes this like little puzzle mini. It's almost like a mini puzzle game resource management thing going on. That was like a lot of fun. Like there was like some really cool items that you could find of different rarities that like would totally affect the way you're gonna like try to build out your backpack throughout a run, and then you're
mhm.
gonna go back to your shop and sell those things. And I think the shopping or the market part of this game is kind of like what a lot of people really love, right? That's why Moonlighter 1 was so cool, is because like you have this like weird action game that all of a sudden you're doing this kind of cozy like shopkeeping
Yeah,
game right after. And that charm is still here. I think it's still very fun. I think it becomes a little bit more manageable. There's also like this like perk system. So if like you're really doing well during your shopping phase where you're selling stuff, like you'll get access to a perk at your like register during the shopping phase that you can kind of click on, and like you're going to get to choose one of three perks. Love choosing between three things. It's classic roguelite stuff. But I think yeah, I think the gameplay here is solid. They really like did a great job. I think presenting this second edition of this game.
yeah.
But what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed the gameplay here. I mean, I played a good bit of the first game, and also I just want to give a shout out to the developers because what they did on the Steam page here, which is kind of cool, is essentially there's kind of this chart they've made where if you're kind of on the fence about getting into the game, it's like, oh well, if you're a fan of Moonlighter, this is what you'll like. If you're a fan of action RPG roguelites, this is what you'll like. And if you're new to the genre, this is what you'll like. And I'm like, oh, this is a really neat little kind of graphic, especially if you're trying to get like maybe friends into the game, whatever it might be. So as someone that played like the original Moonlighter, not that I like 100% in it or anything like that, but um, I like kind of this breakdown here. Like you mentioned, you have the gun that's now like built in. You have the melee weapon, and then you also can use your backpack as a weapon as well, which is really cool. And it even, I would say, like, I love the idea of like going into these runs for the sole purpose of like I want to get really good loot so I can go sell it to make money to then get more upgrades. Like I like that kind of idea rather than just like, oh, I get it and I can just go up to a vendor when I get back and just sell it for whatever it's worth. I like being able to kind of that cozy part of the game, being able to try to figure out, okay, what's a good price based on the quality of the item. So yeah, I think that this kind of like dual genre that they have going on works really well. I really appreciate all the, we'll talk about the art side of things, but like the way this one looks compared to the first game, I like it a lot. Um, I think it's still kind of got that simplicity there, but there's also a good amount of detail. But in terms of like the actual gameplay, I found it to be a good like challenge as well. The only thing I kind of found a little weird is that I felt like every run you start out, it gives you like the same 3 rooms to choose from. They're all like chest rooms. I don't know. That was just for me. I don't know if it was just like,
Mhm.
my luck or something like that. But every single run I did, it didn't matter what first room I went in. They all branched to like the same room afterwards anyway. So I was like, it doesn't matter which one I choose. So that was only the only thing. Like it's early access, so maybe that was like a weird, bug or something, or maybe it's intentional. So that was the only thing for me, uh, from the gameplay that I just thought was odd. But everything else, I mean, I love like the backpack system. I saw people comparing it, I think, to like Backpack Battles or Backpack Hero or maybe or something
Backpack
like,
Hero, probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that, like the fact that you can, you know, affect the essentially like the quality of the items in your backpack, based on like where you're placing them and the effects that they have. And then I even really like that when you open up a chest, you always have an item that like has to be discovered, and then once you just like discover it, they give you a few options to kind of choose from. So it kind of makes every chest, that much more random and more exciting to see what you're going to be getting. So yeah, I enjoyed like the gameplay. I mean, like the combat's like simple enough, but I found that like, it's a roguelike. So you're if you take damage, it's really hard to like heal again if you don't have like heal pots, right? So the further you go, the more you're gonna risk. They also have a really cool system where if you're out of heal pots and you have really low health, you can just recall back to the town. Because if you
Hmm.
die, I think everything in your backpack, the value gets halved.
Yep.
But otherwise, like if there were times where I was like in the middle of a level and I was like, I'm not going to be able to beat this. I have like 3 health left. Let me just recall. You have to hold B and you recall back to the town and you're able to keep everything that you have. So it's kind of like an escape button essentially in a way, which I thought was cool. I don't really remember seeing that in a lot of other kind of roguelike games where it's either like, oh, you either die or you keep moving, kind of thing. I like that feature. The combat, like I said, simple but fun. I like the backpack system. It's kind of this game has a lot going for it, to be honest. From the gameplay standpoint, it's kind of scratching that itch of like exploring, like, well, not really exploring, but like going that roguelite itch, right? We're going from room to room, the cozy itch, and then also kind of like not like a deck builder itch, but like kind of in a way with the
Hmm.
backpack stuff, right? Like it's kind of got like these 3 things going for it. I know I mentioned 2 before, but I totally forgot about the backpack side of things. So yeah, I really enjoyed the gameplay for this one. I'm planning to play more of it, because I want to progress further, but I think this is um an awesome game, and also one where, I know we have to talk about the rest of the game, but one of them where like if I was playing this in front of my wife, I think it'd be really cool to be like, "All right, I just finished a run. Like, here, you go sell stuff," because she likes like Animal Crossing, like the cozy side of things, right?
Hmm.
And so she could go do that, right, and like hand it back to me, or something like that could be cool. But yeah, it's more Moonlighter, but it's upgraded in almost every way, I'd say. And even what you were mentioning about like them removing kind of like the crafting side, I think that's a big plus as well. So they've kind of fine tuned what made Moonlighter awesome. And I think they did a good job from the gameplay standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And they also like expand in a lot of ways. I mean, story wise, there's an interesting story. Where you kind of have to like this endless vault thing that kind of shows up. Not really sure what the climax will be as I start playing through this game, but ton of characters, a huge new town to kind of interact with people.
Yep.
I I kind of like that. And if it, sometimes like when you get into these like base areas with like a lot of different characters, it can be a little overwhelming and you're just like, I don't want to talk to all these people. But like they make it pretty simple, like with this nice little map they got in the corner where you can go from person to person and who wants to talk to you and they'll give you like these quests and stuff like that. And I think that it's it's good. I mean, I don't think it's the most compelling story I've ever played, but it's certainly, something that you're like, okay, I know the stakes here, and it's going to carry me through to get like more quests and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the story, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get like Zelda vibes from this, where it's like, I don't really care what the story is like too much. Like, I get the gist, you know? Yeah, Zelda, yeah, it's the same thing every game. So I just, I think, you know, I someone that doesn't like to have a lot of dialogue, this game is totally fine for me. Like, I was fine going through all of it, learning a bit more. And I agree, like, they don't overwhelm you with like all the characters you can kind of talk to. It's they have good kind of progression when it comes to like introducing you to different characters and the dialogue and the quests you can pick up. It's not overwhelming in the slightest. And I even think that, you know, part of like the story in this game is also like the shopkeeper side of things, right? Where you get to, you see the different uh you know, guests or customers kind of come in and they give you like a, whether it's a good price or not a good price. Like, I don't know, I feel like that kind of all ties into like, am I a good shopkeeper in terms of like the
Hmm.
story, right? But yeah, there's this endless vault that I'm curious to see more about. I don't want to spoil too much about what I have seen, but yeah, it's it's a basic story, but it does the job well. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on it too.
Yeah, and you hinted at the visuals too. This
Yeah.
is a huge upgrade in every single way. Although, I think the first Moonlighter is very charming and I do like that. But this, like, honestly, I was playing this game and I was like, this feels like triple I. I mean, it probably is triple I, but like, this feels like it could have been like a Nintendo game, right? Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is, and this is early access. So, like, I was like, wow, this looks amazing. It's so clean. I like the art style where it's not they didn't make a full jump to hyper realistic. They still kept some style, but it still like feels like a huge upgrade in a lot of ways. It had some wind shorn. What was the name of
Uh, what's the name of that
the
game? Hold on. It's got Windblown. Windblown.
Windblown.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it had some windblown vibes here as well.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of these ever since Breath of the Wild. I feel like we get a lot of this kind of interesting, almost like I don't know if like Aboriginal is the idea, like kind of style choices with like a lot of like relics and statues and stuff like that, which I think is awesome. And yeah, I think that this game just looks so cool. A lot of these like jelly greens that are like kind of like what the game is about, and I think it looks awesome, and the character design's just top notch too. A lot of really cool NPCs and enemies, and I'm only in the I think I'm still only in the first area, still fighting through all that. So like, I'm excited to get to some of the other biomes.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I mean, the art is just fantastic here, and like, I also enjoy like Moonlighter ones like Charm as well, but this is like uh a step in the right direction for me in terms of like what I when I was playing the first Moonlighter, I was kind of thinking of it looking like this, if that makes sense. So I think this is like what they should kind of do from like here on out. I think it's simplistic, but it's got like a lot of detail. It's easy to understand kind of when you're in like a dangerous area, if there's an attack coming in. They do a good job with like all the different kind of colors that are in the game. Your character's kind of like everything is kind of this like turquoise color that, with your weapons and like the bullets that you shoot, all that sort of stuff. And then even the UI, I think, is easy to understand. I think the backpack could have been very complicated, but
Mm-hmm.
they nailed it. Like it only took me like, I don't know, two chests to be like, oh, okay, I understand how this works. Like I get it. And there was a little bit there where I had to learn, oh, if it doesn't burn an item right away, you could just have it sit there, then you can burn it. So like, there's these little visual cues that they kind of give you for that stuff, which I think is great. Um, yeah, I think I don't have a lot to say on the art side of things here because I touched on it a little bit before, but I think it looks great. I definitely agree. Like this is something would expect from Nintendo, and it is only
Hmm.
early access. Like it's just a really well made game, and I mean, hopefully, it makes its way to the Switch after early access as well. I'm sure it will. I
Hmm.
think the first one
Yeah.
did. But yeah, really, really happy with the way this game looks. Um, I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I think they did a great job.
I think also one thing that I noticed, I almost forgot about it, but we're looking at the gameplay here, but like a lot of how the art and like indicators make it user friendly. Like like your opponents, the enemies will turn purple when you can smash them with your backpack. Like so, it's like, hey, this thing is like a totally different color now. Smash with your backpack, it's gonna get like flown off stage. So
Yeah.
like I thought that was just like really cool. There's a lot of like examples of that throughout the game. Now, so I'm gonna actually say something. The one place where this game actually starts to fall short for me is in the soundtrack.
Okay.
I I found it very generic and a little bit boring, to be honest. It felt like they were like, okay, I think it's fine, right? Like it's not like going to like it doesn't like decrease my enjoyment of the game, and it's like totally fine to listen to, but it's just not on par with the rest of the game. It feels like they said, what's a cozy adventure game sound like? And it was just like very generic to me.
Mhm.
Although I will say the sound effects sound great, especially when you're shooting that gun. It's so cool. But for me, and I was even like, I went back and I was like, maybe I'm just not giving it a fair shake. And I listened to the soundtrack on YouTube. I was like, I don't know. This is not exactly for me. It might be for other people, but that's where I kind of landed on it. But in terms of like how everything sounds during combat and stuff like that, and like the satisfying like money sounds, I think that all was stellar. It's just the soundtrack kind of like fell short for me.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I feel like with I agree about the sound effects as well. But I feel like with these kind of like cozy-ish games, which I know this is like partly cozy, the soundtrack is like so important, right? Because like you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be doing a lot that would trigger a lot of sound effects. So games like Animal Crossing, right? Or like Palia is another cozy game that like I played in the past. Like all have pretty good soundtracks. Obviously, I think Animal Crossing like stands out there, but I'm with you. Like I wasn't like wowed by it. It didn't really make a big impression on me at all. Um, but for me, it didn't really take too much away from the game. But I agree, it is a little like lackluster. In terms of like, I don't know, is there I feel like there's got to be some sort of Moonlighter kind of like jingle or like undertone that's like throughout the whole
Mm-hmm.
game, like something like that, where you're like it just ties it to this like IP a little bit more. So I definitely agree about that. But yeah, sound effect wise, I mean, it's very satisfying. You get those dopamine hits selling stuff, that
Mm-hmm.
whole kind of thing, and then the combat's good as well. But yeah, I'm with you there. It's just didn't make a big impression on me.
And to be fair, I might not have noticed if like I had to like fix something when I first booted up the game. So I was like doing something on one screen and just had it going on the second screen, and like I just like was listening to that music, and I was like, I don't really actually like this. Like
Yeah.
so maybe, and I tried to listen to some other tracks, and it's all has the same vibe and kind of like it does have like a motif to it. So like at least there's that, but just not for me. Now performance wise, I played on PC. I had no issues. I would like to also play on the Steam Deck eventually. Um, just a little. I think this is definitely probably a little bit more Steam Deck friendly, but I imagine it works fine there. Any issues for you?
No. Yeah, no issues for me. I didn't get a chance to play it on the deck, just played it on PC and everything worked pretty great. So, yeah, I imagine it'll work well on the deck. I think it's technically playable, but I have to imagine they're going to get it verified before early access is over.
Cool, cool. And that's gonna bring us to our final rating. Our final ratings are as followed: certified fresh juice. These are our clear obscure 33s of the world, which we didn't play. A steal after that, on sale, manager special, spoiled milk. It's S, A, B, C, and D tier for those who are new here. I'll let you go first. I think I've gone first the past couple times.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give this game. I'm giving it a certified fresh juice. I enjoyed my time with it. I think that I know it's still early access, right? Um, and the issues with like the soundtrack and all that, but I really enjoyed kind of all three phases of the game, right? Where the shopkeeping, the kind of going in the dungeons on the runs, and then the whole backpack side of things. I just found all of it very enjoyable, and I'm gonna give it a certified fresh juice. I think it improved from the first game in almost every way that I cared about, and I'm definitely gonna be playing more of it, especially on the deck. I agree. I think it's a pretty deck friendly game. So, yeah, giving it a certified. What about you?
I actually, I was gonna pop in. Like, yeah, I'm gonna play it in the kitchen. Um,
Yeah. Gee, I gotta stop
I
just saying that.
love. So when I first sat down after playing this, I think I was at a steal, and then I thought about the game more, and I was like writing down some notes, and I really worked myself up to like a low certified fresh juice. I think there's probably some things that could be improved still,
Hmm.
right? Because it is early access, and I'm hoping that we see that kind of come to fruition. And I imagine they will. I mean, there's a game of this size won't be making improvements, or won't not be making improvements in early access.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just some small things. The soundtrack, like, kind of like was a little bit of a bummer for me, but other than that, I think like probably some small things here and there. But it's really like I said before, I was like, this feels like a Nintendo level game
Yeah.
that I would be happy to pay the money that this is. So yeah, excited to hop in and play more on the Steam Deck as well. So but yeah, nice little game here towards the end of the year. I think we haven't figured out what we're going to be reviewing towards the end of the year, but we might only have one or two games left
Yeah.
for the end of the year. This is a good one.
Yeah, it is. It's in the conversation. That's for sure. For the juicies. We'll see.
It is in the conversation for the Juicies. Now, next week will be Game Talk. It's a pretty busy week for me, so I don't even know if I'll have time to play video games this week, other than Balatro on my phone.
Yeah.
But we do have a couple listener questions. First one comes from Bags. If you can remember, do you guys have any favorite listener questions from any past episodes?
um, I can't remember.
You can't
um,
remember?
I can't remember any that like stick out specifically. I'm actually looking through like we have a whole document here of all of them. One of them from Capolo here actually is like what are our thoughts on like kind of the video game to board game adaptations? That was a good question. But honestly, we get questions all over the place here, so it's hard for me to remember all the specific ones. But what about you? Anything jump out?
Oh, golly. If
All
I
the
had to,
ones from
like,
our carb. That's what it is.
no, 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 no. Actually, if this is just off the top of my head that I didn't do any research for, but I think it was a Pizza Possum episode. MF98170 asked, "Is there a particular art style that hasn't been popularized in games that you'd like to see?" I like that question from memory. I think I got it right,
Yeah.
but That was a
Yeah.
good one.
I didn't know you had such a good memory. That's crazy, especially the
You know,
username. You got it down pat, no problem.
I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah. You know what's funny about Pizza Possum too is I was just in a Discord and someone linked the game and like so many people were like, "Oh my god, I love this game." It's like I've never heard anyone talk about Pizza Possum.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
crazy.
mean, maybe was it Skulls and Daggers? The same person
Sloss and
who
Daggers.
Oh,
Yeah.
Slots and Daggers?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe that gave it a nice boost.
Yeah, maybe.
Um but our carp does come in and ask, what's your favorite Xmas movie? Christmas movie?
Oh, my favorite Christmas movie. I love Home Alone 2. Really
Ooh,
like that one. The
better
cheese
traps.
pizza. The what?
There's better traps in that one.
Better traps. There's the I always die laughing when it's like, get on your knees and tell me you love me. I love you. I'm
Yeah.
always dying at that. So that's a good one. I also just honorable mentions as well. Die Hard. Love Die Hard. It's a
Mm-hmm.
Christmas movie. Elf, another good one.
Yep.
I enjoy Elf. And then Eight Crazy Nights as well, which is you know, animated, but another good one. So I don't know, it's just top of my head, but I probably just go with Home Alone too. I always love that movie growing up. I love the first one too, but there's something about being in New York, that like is
Yeah.
cool to me, So yeah. But
Home
what about
Alone
you?
2 is a great answer. I always like the question posed as like, all right, who wins? Macaulay Culkin's character from Home Alone or the Predator? And the answer is always like, how much time does Kevin have to
Yeah.
prepare? um,
It's good.
but my favorite Christmas movie, I don't know. I mean, I think our family in general, and I think a lot of people just love the Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a banger for a
Yeah.
reason. But Home Alone 2 is a great one. Home Alone 1, I mean, honestly, one of the best Christmas soundtracks is John Williams,
Yeah.
Home Alone. Um, Geez Louise. You know what? Christmas Story. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great film. But yeah, those are probably it. I'm probably forgetting something. The
Yeah.
Thing.
There you go. Yeah. Technically, Lord of the Rings Fellowship.
Yeah, technically
I
Lord of the
heard that
Rings.
recently.
Yep.
That it's technically a Christmas movie. But yeah, that's a good one. Home Alone 2. There you go. Boom.
And we had one more question come in from Kmore who asked, "Do you have the podcast Game of the Year lineup for everything you reviewed?"
We don't have it yet, but we have a list of all the games we've rated and everything. So Tommy and I will get together and probably boil it down to like 5 games, maybe, or something like that. And I guess, should we have the listeners vote too? I don't even know. We could do that
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
if
Yeah,
they
maybe we
played
could
it.
throw like a Google Doc.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, just we
Yeah.
could just do it with every game we played this year, and you guys just vote for which ones you like the most.
Yeah. Or yeah, you can even vote based on how much you like that episode too,
That too.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that means it's time to go down to a little place we like to call the Rec Room, where we recommend something that perhaps isn't an indie game. What do you have to recommend this week?
I am recommending a game that I just found out about today, and I'll show you on the screen here. It's called Ultra Pool. Apparently, it's on
Ooh.
Steam. I had no idea. Well, it's coming out next year on Steam. It's also on itch.io, but it's also an Android app
Oh.
that's early access. I don't know if it's on iOS, but I found out about it, I think, through Twitter. Excuse me, but it was being compared to Balatro, but it's pool.
Ooh.
So you kind of, I played a little bit of it earlier. You start out with like three, actually, I wonder if it has like some images here. Yeah, so you start out with like 3 balls here, and you're just trying to hit them into the pockets, and you're trying to hit a certain score when you do that. And then in between each level, you have a shop, and they have different balls with different effects, and you kind of add it to your like whatever your triangle of pool balls that you have. And then you can even combine balls to make them more valuable or more potent. And then you can kind of see it's like a numbers kind of go up game, at least in the little gameplay here. It's just like boo 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 boo, everything's bouncing and going crazy.
That
Um,
looks like up my alley.
yeah, so I've only played a little bit of it on the phone, but it works fine, like control wise on the phone. I think there's some improvements they could make, but um, I think it's fun. And if you have an Android phone, you can get it. It's free on the Play Store, but I think you have to search for it. Like if you just type in, like you have to search for it by name, which I guess I don't know why you wouldn't, but it didn't show up after I installed it for some reason. I don't know if it's because it's like early access, so I had to like search it in my phone and then I found it. But anyway, Ultra Pool, check it out. Coming out next year, but you can play it for free, I guess, on itch.io and then on your phone. So there you go. Boom. Check it out.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I will be checking that out. And then I am recommending the demo for the game Black Jacket. I think that this will be I honestly think this game will be in contention for best indie game next year.
Ooh, okay.
This, I mean, it is so addicting. I mean, it's got Balatro level addiction level. It's a little bit more of a dungeon crawler esque thing, right? You're going through like the Slay the Spire kind of map, but
Yeah.
the way the design of how you play this blackjack roguelike is just so awesome. And I'm so excited for this game. I downloaded the demo a while ago. I'm like, I'll check it out eventually. And then I was just kind of scrolling through TikTok, and I just happened to see Ben Starr,
Yeah.
the guy who plays Jimbo for Balatro.
Yeah.
They asked him like, "Oh, what game are you most excited for next year?" And he said Black Jacket. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I got that demo." I started playing it. I was like, "This is so good." Like you have no idea. But
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah. It looks
big
awesome.
fan.
I just installed it, so I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah.
And look at
Let
that.
me know.
Yeah.
Let me
We've
know.
got 2 potential banger games here
Ooh,
we're
yeah.
recommending. So we're dropping some alpha, as the kids say right now.
That's the first time I'm hearing that.
That's something in like the crypto community where if you're I don't know why I remember that, but if you're dropping like if you're ahead of the curve dropping some good information, you're like, I'm dropping alpha right now. So we're dropping alpha.
I'm more in the cryptozoology community. I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm dropping Bigfoot, brother. But all right. Well, that's gonna do it for the show. Forever. No, I'm kidding. You can find me on Blue Sky at Fresh Buds Pod. I have another podcast called Fresh and Buds, and I talk about a game called Flesh and Blood. This week I have my good friend Elaine Ham on Tree on the podcast. That is ham on tree, like bacon on bush, pork on shrubbery, as she likes to say all the time. And you can find us on all podcasts or on all platforms. On every podcast, you can find us at Fresh Juice Pod. Matthew, where can people find you?
Find me at Matty Gorm, Gorm. I've been posting a lot of YouTube shorts, things like that, on survival games, all that jazz. Feel free to go check me out. Support me over there as well.
Stay juicy.